What do you do when the guys who are your type just don't seem to be available? How do you handle it when he has a girlfriend? And why do your friends seem to be able to get into relationships despite making classic mistakes, and you don't despite doing everything right? Welcome to another Ask Mark, guys. It's Mark here from Making Yours, and it's great to have you here for this weekly episode that I do, where I basically answer your questions, some of the best questions that get sent into me, and I pick the ones that I think you will essentially get the most benefit from. Now, make sure you subscribe if you're not already, hit the little bell, and let's get straight into this week's questions, because we've got some really interesting, thought-provoking ones this week. Now, the first one is from Daniela. Daniela Stefan. Daniela says, Mark, the problem is that all guys I like are not available for me, and the ones that I don't like, they are available. Right. Now, please don't believe that it's me that I like unavailable men just because they're not available. That's a fair comment, Daniela. No. The truth is, I'm very visual, and I like him from the first moment when I see him, only for their looks, and my admiration for them has nothing to do with them being available or not. It's just my luck that each time I like someone very much, they are not available. What shall I do? Change my type and be with someone that is available, even if I don't like him? I don't like playboy macho men. These guys are not like this. I like delicate looking guys with beautiful features, not something most women like in general. And when I see them, I lose my reason and they are not available. Okay. There's two important things here, Daniela, that I think all of you will get benefit from. The first is there's clearly a limiting belief here. Because you're going, okay, all these guys with beautiful features, none of them are available, Mark. None of them. Would it be a stretch to say, Daniela, that you're basing this belief off less than 5 examples? I would probably say not. This is the equivalent to me going, you know, I love little cute girls. I just with, I don't know, big hips. I just love that, but they're never available. Never. And you say to me, well, Mark, how many examples are you basing this off? I'm like, 3. Clearly there's a limiting belief going on here, Daniela, where you're going, all these guys who are this look aren't available. Now, with that being said, there's actually something more important to take out of this question. And it is the issue of types. From coaching men, moving to coaching women, one thing that comes up an enormous amount more is this idea of types. And Daniela, you've basically said that you're typing guys, essentially, going for full admiration from the moment you meet them. So you've got in your head this idea that, oh, this is my type, I have to go for this type, and you're ruling out every other guy, which by the sounds of it is the vast majority, before you've even talked to them or connected with them as people. Types, guys, will get you into so much trouble because you'll narrow that funnel so early and miss out on all these great people outside of it. Now, that doesn't mean that you go with someone you're not at all attracted to. It just means that you're connecting with people on a human level and you're making your type about something real and something deeper. If you're going to have a type who is a loyal guy. Have a type who's an honest guy. Have a type who is a guy who takes charge in his life. Have a guy who is faithful. Have a type of a guy who is family orientated or relationship orientated. Have a type of a guy who's great in bed. Make that your type. Daniela, you're assessing guys as your type based on a look. Do you want a guy with beautiful features who has none of those qualities I just talked about? Or would you take a guy who is attractive in his own way and maybe doesn't have the classic features that you've considered your type, but has everything I talked about? If you really get to know men as humans, then you're going to get to know them for deeper things, and that's where real standards come from. How would you look at me if I said, nah, she's not a blonde D cup, she's not my type? Right? It's superficial and you're typing for all the wrong reasons. So guys, if you're going to type out of things that really matter, real values from real men. Good question, really good question. Second one is from Brenda. And Brenda says, I have a question. I like this guy, and he likes me too, but he has a girlfriend. I always find myself thinking of texting him. Thinking of texting him, either way. I don't want to seem desperate because I don't want him to lose interest in me. What should I do, Mark? Brenda, pull your head in. The guy has a girlfriend. What are you doing texting him? What are you doing building his interest? If a guy ever comes to you with a girlfriend and says, I want something to happen here, do you know what you say to him? You say, sort out your relationship, let your girlfriend know that you're not interested in end things, and then we can talk. That's it, that's all you say. There's other channels that will give you advice on how to manipulate these types of men into a relationship and how to get them in. And if that's the sort of advice you want, you can unsubscribe from this one and go to one of them, because you're not going to get it here. What you'll get here is dating advice that comes from a place of high self-esteem and a place of abundance. And that is the only advice that's ever going to work in the long term. There are other available men out there, and you don't have to go after one who has a girlfriend and is flirting with you, so he's showing a huge amount of weakness in his character as is. Last question comes from Marlena. Marlena. Thank you for the tips. However, I want to ask you something about the first one. So just to put this in context, this is from the How to Make Men Chase You video about building an exciting life that men want to be a part of. Marlena says, I love my life, even though I still didn't achieve my dreams, but I'm heading there and working to succeed. Still, in comparison with me, some of my girlfriends have no dreams and are in jobs they hate. Yet they're married with kids. How is this possible? They got together with their men when they were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do. They're nice girls, but how do they meet their men so easily? Marlena, you're comparing apples and oranges here. You can't compare your journey to theirs. See, this isn't a linear thing where you do X number of things and you're going to get the person. There's people in bad relationships everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that your friends are in bad relationships. They could be in amazing relationships. But there's people everywhere in relationships who shouldn't be. There's people everywhere who tolerate relationships they shouldn't tolerate, treatment they shouldn't tolerate, and people who are just comfortable and not even in love anymore. The statistics is like 11.4% of marriages are rated as very happy or higher. You can't judge your success, ironically, in getting relationship coaching by your ability to get a relationship. You see, that's what people think that I do, but what I really coach, guys, is happiness. Sometimes I coach people to stay single. That might sound odd, but I've had clients say to me, I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad I got this coaching. If it wasn't for you, I know that by now I would have settled for the wrong relationship with the wrong guy. So for now, I'm staying single and building my confidence and feeling great about myself, and I know I'm going to attract the right guy in the future. Sometimes in the short term, being single is the successful way you have to go with this. You know, I can't speak for your friends' relationships, but I can speak for other parts of their life that you've told me about. You've said they have no dreams and they're tolerating jobs that they hate. Are they happy? Do you think if they're unhappy even for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, that that's going to reflect in the quality of their relationships? You can't compare your journey to theirs. You're making yourself happy in your own way, and they have their own dramas to deal with. What I can say is that a lot of people who tolerate sitting in their comfort zone when they're not really happy in one area of their life are going to do that in other areas of their life too. I can't comment on their relationship specifically, but I dare say it's probably not the dream that you think it is. So Marlena, don't compare, and for you as well, don't compare your journey with someone else's. Sometimes the success is in finding yourself and finding your own happiness. And guys, being single, women constantly undervalue the value of being single. The way it allows you to grow, the way it forces you to change, the amount of character that it builds. All this contributes enormously to you. And when you meet someone maybe a little bit later on than your friends, you are going to meet someone who's far better attuned to you, and you're going to have more confidence and more growth behind you. And odds are, better relationships. So do not judge your success compared to that of your friends. They have other struggles, clearly, that they're dealing with. You do the right things. You make yourself happy. And ultimately, if you're making yourself happy in your own life, you're building those positive mental habits, you're going after your dreams, chasing a life you love, and you're tweaking along the way to have great interactions with men, you are going to find the absolute best person for you and the fulfilling relationship you've been looking for. But even if somehow you didn't, you're still going to be happy. That's the bottom line. If you're happy, how are you not going to attract that in the end, though? So guys, thanks for watching. That's Ask Mark for this week. Make sure you leave your question. Leave your question. Do it. Leave it below. Hit the thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the little bell so that you get all notifications of when the new videos are on. Guys, thank you for watching. You're the best. Leave a comment below and I shall see you in a week.